My first question to any of those principals in those situations would be, are you a member of TEPSA if you're an elementary principal?
I was just thinking that, Lori. So there's one thing we haven't talked about, Lori Gallegos. You are a big fan of TEPSA because you serve in a pretty large role at the state level.
So I am very blessed to be on the executive committee for the state of Texas for TEPSA, and, followed some amazing leaders who happen to be on this call in that position with Jerry Spellman. So I think, those, especially in the rural districts, in all districts, it really doesn't matter the size and where you are. But TEPSA for elementary principals, that is our lifeline. And even the question that you were just asking, Beth, about, where do you go? Who do you turn to? And I'm thinking, well, at summer conference, we have a class about that. So
exactly.
For sure. That would be my first question. And then there's a lot of resources that come by being a member. It's not just that you have to go to conference and do that, but through responsive learning, through the articles that they send, there's so many resources that are there. So that would be my first question. But in addition to that, and that professional camaraderie that comes from finding other people in other districts and the mentoring and all that happens, if I were kind of a singleton, so to speak, in my district, I have a very small district, or maybe I'm a principal of a K-12 campus, right? And I have to do everything. I think for me, there's just some good old-fashioned kind of tools, like, let me write it out. I know this is going to be a hard conversation. Let me practice. Let me get in front of a mirror, especially if you're the kind of leader, which a lot of our people, especially at the elementary level, are. They do not like conflict, but it doesn't have to be seen as a bad conversation. You just have to go into it being, here are my facts. I have my evidence. This is what I've scripted. This is what I'm able to show in a very non-judgmental kind of a way. It's just data. It's a point there. And so trying to practice helping teachers learn that the data tells the story and helping them to internalize, so you're on the same page as to what that story is. But if you go into it cold, where I'm the evaluator, I know everything, you're doing it wrong, that's not going to end well. And I think every principal has probably gone through a bad conversation, a bad feedback conversation where they've learned from it and they grow from it. So kind of give yourself a little grace. It's not always going to be perfect, especially at the beginning, but you learn from each of those experiences and it gets better. But then you go to TEPS and you talk to your friends and you learn.
Yep. You're in a group text with people, right? Pose those questions to be able to help figure out and support.
So true. So true. Find your people wherever they are, even if they're in other districts or even in other parts of the state. So for sure.